Hey guys, it's me, Miss Rodriguez, and as promised, today we are going to be upping our coding game by trying a new program. We have been using a lot of code.org in the last couple of years, and now it's time to try something a little bit different. So today we're going to be using the Scratch program. And if you haven't used Scratch before, this is going to be just like your little mini tutorial that you can use to kind of come back and refer to. So having it recorded is something that you can always pause when you need to. You can rewind, you can fast forward as needed. So I'm going to go through exactly how we're going to get to Scratch, how to log in, and then how we're going to get started and what our actual activity is today. So we're going to scroll down just a bit here and go over what your actual goal is today in STEM. Your challenge today is to animate the word boo in Scratch. Since we're getting close to Halloween, this is the perfect time for that. So, the first thing you're going to do is you are going to go to your portal and you're going to click on Schoology and you are going to find your STEM course. And of course, you guys know mine looks different because I'm a teacher. I'm going to click on Miss Benavides' class, but all the classes look the same. So in your STEM course, you have the keyboarding folder and coding. And since we are working on code, you are going to click coding. When you click there, right now there are two items. Once I get this recorded and uploaded, there'll be the video here. Okay. So you see the Scratch login and you see the passwords. I'm not going to click on the passwords because I don't want everybody to see the video. But what I will tell you about the passwords is I had to set up your username and your password. So on there, you're going to find your name and you'll see your username. And then at the very bottom of the page, you're going to see everybody's password. Okay. Everybody has the exact same password. You also need to know on this password, on the Scratch, it is very much case sensitive. So what that means is if I made it an uppercase letter, you need to make it an uppercase letter. If I made it lowercase, you need to make it lowercase. You need to make it look exactly like mine did. So once you actually get your login information, you're going to click on the Scratch login link. You're going to see that sad face per usual. You're going to come to the square and arrow and make it bigger. And we will get to our Scratch. Now, you will see once we log in, Scratch has definitely a lot more to it. Now, when it's actually time to log in, there will be a little place where it will get to your login area. You'll put in your username, your password, and click enter. I was already signed in from earlier today, so that's not going to be a problem for me. I'm already in. Once I am logged in, there you're going to go up to the top where it says create. So it's right next to Scratch. You click on create. So I click on create and we basically see a blank paper. This right here is where we move the coding blocks. And then here is where we are actually working on what we're trying to animate. So I'm going to move my camera just a little bit and show you some of the parts we see here. Okay, so we have all the coding blocks. And the reason we haven't done Scratch yet is because there is a lot to it. I don't expect you to be an expert after this class, but you have all of these different blocks that do lots of different things. For today, we're going to spend a lot of our times on events and on motion. Okay. So, other parts you're going to see here is costume, and this is where you can change colors and different things to your sprites that you're making. There's sounds here. We're not going to mess with that too much today. Here at the bottom, you see where you can actually click on the different sprites, the different graphics you have, and make some adjustments to it. You're also going to see things like size and direction that are going to be important. Now, the first thing I want you to do is to come up here and we're going to give it a title. This is Untitled 11. That doesn't make much sense. So I'm just going to type in Boo, and that will be my title, and that's good to go. So right now, we want to get this cat out of the way. It doesn't make sense for what we're doing. We're trying to animate the word Boo. I want to get the word Boo on there and then make it move in some way. So I'm just going to come up here and click on the trash can, and it's gone. So what I want you to start with is going to be the background. They call that the stage in Scratch, which is right here on the right. I'm going to click on choose a backdrop and I can search for one. So when you're searching for one, you can click on something. You can just kind of see what looks interesting to you, but make sure it kind of matches what we're doing. So I'm going to click here. I think I'm going to pick this one. That's not the one you have to pick, whatever makes sense for you. So now I've got my backdrop. Now what I want to do is I want to add letters that spell out Boo. So I'm going to come now to my sprite and I'm going to click on search again. And once I get here, I want to go to letters. And you have different choices in letters here. Okay. Also note we can make adjustments to a letter if you need it. I'm going to start on this set. I like this one. So I'm going to get the B on there. And while I do like this, I can move it where I would like it to go. Okay. You might notice that here, when you move the letter, these numbers for X and Y are moving and changing. Okay. Now I like this one. I want it bigger. So I am going to come to size and I'm going to make it 200. You can make it whatever size you want, but it does need to be something that we can read. Now, I might change some colors on this as I go. I think I'm going to keep the B like that. I want also the O and O, so I'm going to come down to the sprite. I'm going to click on letters, and we're going to add an O. And I'm going to also make that 200, so it looks good together. And I'm going to adjust that. And I think since, the easiest way to do it is if I right click on the O, I can duplicate it. If you don't know how to do that, again, you can go to the sprite and find the O again. So I've got a duplicate and it goes there. So let's say I want to change what this O looks like. If you notice in your workspace here, when I click on a letter, it changes in the workspace so I know which letter I'm working on. So I'm going to go to the first block O and I'm going to go to costumes. And I'm going to click on that center, like that part that's orange. So I think that's a color I'm going to want to change. I think I'm going to go, let's do green. I make it kind of a dark green. And once I like that, I go click on it and it changes there. If I want to change my next one, I can do the same. I think on this one, I'm going to go more purple. Again, it's how you choose to do it. And just make adjustments so you get what you like. And there we go. I've got my Boo. Now, this is where we are going to now try to animate it. We want our Boo to move. So I'm going to go back and click out of costumes and go to code. So you have all of these choices. You also have up here a green flag. That's your start. Anytime you push it, you're starting your program. So we need to get a start block on here. I'm going to go to events, and the very top one says when the flag is clicked, and I'm going to drag that to my workspace. Then I'm going to go to motion. So what I'm kind of thinking is I'm just going to have my letters fly into the middle. So you have to tell Scratch where to start. Right now, it started here, but I don't want it to start there. That's actually where I want it to end. So I'm going to actually take my letter B and I am going to drag it. You can also see here, I was working on the O or over here, and that's why it's, I don't have that block. So I'm going to come back to B. I'm going to, I forgot to do that earlier, add my flag, and then come to my motions. So the one I'm going to start with is going to be the one that says go to. That means that when I start this program, my letter will go to that spot. So I'm going to drag it just where I want it. I want it to look like it's flying in. So I'm going to kind of put it here as close to the edge as I can. And then I'm going to say go to. And it says go to X and Y. It's important it has both of those, X and Y. Then I want it to float or glide back to that correct spot. So now I'm going to glide it here. And I'm going to find the blue block that says glide to X and Y. When I push the green, let's see what happens. Okay. Okay, it floated in. That's what I wanted. Now I am going to take and click on my green and find a place I want this one to start. I think I'm going to have this one start up here in the corner, and sometimes it goes back, so you just kind of have to move it slowly, just like it's peeking in there. And I'm going to start with an event, which is when the flag is clicked, and I'm going to go back to motion. We're going to go to X and Y, and then I'm going to slide it over here, and we're going to add a glide to X and Y. Let's test it. Okay, not bad. Then I'm going to click finally on my purple one, and I want it to come from up here. Almost looks like it's part of the moon. I am going to say go to X and Y, and then I'm going to drag it down here. Then I click glide to X and Y. Now I push my green flag, and there we go. So far, I've already been successful animating. If this is where you get and as far as you get today, that's a great start. It's your first time in Scratch. After you finish this, if you still have time, then you can start making some adjustments. Some things you could start to look at is things like looks, okay? Changing size, changing colors. So for instance, I could maybe say change my color. I'm on this purple O, change color. I'm going to say effect 50. Let's just see what happens when I do that. Something might happen, something might not. Okay. And you can see it changed when it got over here. Okay. I can try that. I could do that with all the letters if I like. It's really up to me. Okay. Again, if this is as far as you get on just making the boo and having the letters glide into the right place, that is fine. But go in if you have extra time and see what you can do. If you also have time, you can add extra sprites in there as well, like some other things to the background. But our most important part is getting our boo on our Scratch program and animated. So hopefully this was just a good little reminder of what to do and gets you started. And hopefully you enjoy it, because we will be using Scratch a little bit later to create a video game. So kind of practicing with this is going to get you ready for that step too. So have a good day, guys, and I will see you later.